Hello YouTube, I'll be going 1982 and this is going to be my stack of Blu-rays and 4Ks, my first 4Ks for the month of June 2021. So my first pickup was a belated birthday present from my wife, and that is my first ever 4K Ultra HD title, and that is Speed. For some reason I never upgraded this to Blu-ray, but they're lucky enough this comes with the Blu-ray as well. And yeah, it's a film that I grew up watching. I loved back in the mid to late 90s. I believe it came out in 95. I think I got it for Christmas 95 or 96. And with VHS back in the day, and I remember wearing out that VHS, quoting the film as it went along. Loved it, adrenaline-filled film. And I remember upgrading it onto this 2-disc special edition, a DVD, when it first came out. But for some reason, it was a long while since watching the film, and I watched it, I think last year or the year before on Sky. It was on there. I thought, oh, I haven't seen Speed in a while, and it just threw me back into it, and I realised how much I really did enjoy this film. Great 90s action, adrenaline-filled film, and really glad to have it as a 4K. As I say, this was a newish release when I picked it up. We paid $19.99. I believe it dropped down to $14.99 on some websites. I'm not sure if it is that now, but yeah, I really did enjoy watching it again on 4K, my first 4K title, and yeah, good way to start. The negative thing about this is you can see on the back here the lack of extras, hence why I'm going to be keeping my 2-disc special edition DVD set for the extras and featurettes on there. It's nice to have the film in 4K, but it would have been nice to have an extras disc as well to continue on the extras, so I could get rid of my DVD release. But hey ho, that's the way it goes, so there we go. So my next edition is a Steelbook edition, and this was lucky enough received for Father's Day, and that is It Chapter 2. The first time I saw this was in the cinema back in 2019 when I was allowed to go to the cinema, and yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I remember enjoying parts of it, but not enjoying it as much as the first chapter. Watching it again the other night on 4K, I enjoyed it a little bit more than I remember watching it in the cinema. I do feel that some of the cast members were a bit miscast from their younger counterparts, but some of them were on the nose and really were similar, very much like their younger actors as well. The story continues on with Pennywise returning 27 years later and how they deal with him. It's a bit anticlimactic at the end, but there are parts in this that are still good and a bit creepy, but some of them are over the top and silly, but I suppose that is the story of it. But yeah, I was glad to add this to the collection, a steelbook as well. I do own the first one on Blu-ray steelbook, and I was holding off to get this one as I didn't have the 4K or anything 4K, so... But it was nice enough that it was still around, so I could add it to the collection. I was very lucky enough to receive it for Father's Day. So, It Chapter 2, going into the collection. So, my next 4K title is Full Metal Jacket. And this is the special edition, which was, I don't know if it was a glitch or anything, but lucky enough it was in the 2 for 25 deal on Amazon a few weeks back now, which has sadly been removed, I believe. But, yeah, I was really pleased to see this in there. I was tempted to buy the 2 for 25 with the normal slipcase edition in HMV when I went there a couple of Saturdays ago, but it was in really poor condition, so I thought I'll wait again and I'll try and get it another day. And I think I couldn't find another title I wanted as well. I was going to get the Shining, which is, as you can see there, but I couldn't find it in store for some reason. But luckily enough, I held off, and this was popped up on, I think, one of the groups on Facebook. Someone put it in there, lucky enough, and I was lucky enough to grab a copy of it. As you can see, it comes with a bit of swag here. But it's a nice box, hard box edition. I've just sliced it open a little bit so I can get out and have a look at the swag inside. But it comes with a normal keep case in there and all the little postcards and things like that. But it's a nice hard box, and I love the art on the front there. And yeah, for me, Stanley Kubrick, one of my favourite directors of all time. I just really enjoy all of his work. I really did enjoy going to the Stanley Kubrick exhibition a few years back now, before the pandemic kicked in. So if that's ever near you, I highly recommend checking that out, seeing all of his equipment and stuff from the films, props and costumes. And yeah, it's just a fantastic experience going to his exhibition. Also, if you're getting into Stanley Kubrick, I know there's a lot of young collectors on here now. Definitely check out the documentary Life in Pictures, diving into the mind and world of Stanley Kubrick. And also I recommend checking out Film Worker, which is a documentary about, I can't remember his name now, the guy who was his assistant after working with him on Barry Lyndon, and going on and working with him until his dying day. And yeah, it was a really good insight into Stanley Kubrick, a controversial director in many ways, but definitely an interesting man and a genius of his time. But yeah, I was really glad to add this to the collection. Full Metal Jacket. I'm looking forward to checking this out on 4K. And yeah, on to the next one. So as you saw there, the next one isn't my other 4K title, the last one of the group, and that is The Shining from Stanley Kubrick and the mind of Stephen King. Fantastic performance from Jack Nicholson, and it's just a really gripping film. Every time I watch this, it just gets better and better each time. It's moving up my imaginary list of favourite films near the top every time I watch it. I really do like the artwork on this release. It's nice that they've mixed it up a bit and done something different. Normally with the releases of The Shining, they've either put on the Here's Johnny face or the twins, but this is completely different. I've never seen nothing like this before. And yeah, it's nice to add to the collection on 4K. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Haven't had time to get around to watching it yet, but I might hold off towards the end of the year and watch it around Halloween time, because I'm not really the biggest horror fan, but these psychological sort of films, yeah, I watch around that time instead. So The Shining, a fantastic film to add to the collection. Sadly, I missed out on the nice box set they released a few, I think last year now, or maybe the year before. Lost track of time with this pandemic. But yeah, that was looked a fantastic set, and sadly I missed that. I hope to get 2001: A Space Odyssey on 4K as well. Just want to really get more Stanley Kubrick films. As I say, really fascinated by Stanley Kubrick, a fantastic filmmaker, and I love to upgrade all of his films to 4K. So maybe one in the future, in a future update. So The Shining. Continuing on with the Shining theme, this is a documentary called Room 237. This was on the 101 Films sale recently at HMV, and I picked this up for $5.99. I was very pleased with it. Come with a slipcase. Didn't even know it did have a slipcase, but yeah, I do love that with the art of the carpet from The Shining. And yeah, this is a documentary that I've been meaning to watch for many years now. I remember a lot of people talking about it highly when it first came out, or a few years ago now, maybe 3-4 years ago, maybe even more than that. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching The Shining and then watching this straight after, and getting more out of the experience of watching The Shining. So here we go. So the next title is another 101 Films, and that is Toy Soldiers, starring Sean Astin, Will Wheaton, in this fantastic early 90s action film. Comedy as well. There's lots of funny moments in it as well. And I remember watching this back in the day with my sister on VHS, and we wore the tape out because we watched it so many times. I remember if Dan Physical Media for Life, I was going to say Dan at Alton Productions then. If you're watching, mate, and you remember Catford Muse back in the day, not far from Danham, they used to have a guy in there who used to sell VHS. I'm not sure you maybe have picked him up from yourself. And I remember my sister picking him up from that guy. I remember she picked that up, Men at Work, I think Young Guns or something like that. And I remember we watched him VHS all the time. And but yeah, I remember watching this and really enjoying it. And when I saw it for $5.99, I thought I definitely had to upgrade to the Blu-ray. I do own it on DVD, but it's up in the loft in a box somewhere. And I was glad to pick it up and give it a watch again. Definitely threw me back to a lot of memories, and some good action in there as well. Sean Astin, Will Wheaton in there as well. It's about a prep school or boarding school where terrorists overtake it, basically. And it's about the students, how they revolt and try to overthrow the terrorists. It's a very simple plot point, but a really fun film, and I highly recommend people checking out Toy Soldiers, especially if it's $5.99 at the moment in HMV. There we go. So the first of two criterions in this update, and that is the Grand Budapest Hotel. I believe HMV or Amazon were having a deal where they was taking off 20%. I know the second one was definitely that recently on Prime Day. But this one was few weeks ago now. And yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel, another Wes Anderson film in the collection. I own quite a few Wes Andersons, so I was glad to add this and upgrade my normal Fox release. So yeah, fantastic artwork in this. We watched it again. Typical Wes Anderson. Also say my favourite one. My favourite's still the Royal Tenenbaums. But yeah, a really fun film. A lot of funny moments. And yeah, I was glad to add this to the collection. So my second criterion in this collection update is David Lynch's Eraserhead, a film I haven't got around to watching yet, a film I've heard many things about in the past. The reason I picked this one up, one being in the 1001 movies you must see before you die book, and I've got it on my list of films I want to watch. Definitely heard lots of things about it, but I put it on Instagram. Was this between this and Mishimon, The Life in 4 Chapters, both in the book, and both I wanted to see, and I wasn't sure what one to get on Prime Day. And it's knocked down to £20 for both of these titles, and I could only get one of them. So I put a vote on Instagram, and this one was the favourite by quite a long shot, really. Mishimon did get a few votes, but this one was definitely 2-1 on the votes, I believe. So I'm looking forward to checking out David Lynch's Eraserhead. As I say, heard many great things in the past, and I think it's going to take a few watches to understand exactly what's happening, or I think it's one of those films you'll never even understand what happens. But I'm looking forward to exploring some more of David Lynch's work. So, Eraserhead. So these four all go together, and that is the Premium Collection. This is, at the present time, the 25th of June 2021. HMV are doing their 2 for 15 deal. So it's a great time to add some of these to the collection and upgrade some titles from DVD to Blu-ray as well. I've gone for Murder My Sweet, which is a film noir film. I'm looking forward to checking that one out after recently getting into more film noir films. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. It did sound really interesting when reading up on it. Possessed, I mainly picked up because of Joan Crawford. Recently, after watching Mildred Pierce, I wanted to see more of her work. I still need to see what happened to Baby Jane, plus many of her other titles that she was in. But if there's any ones you'd like to recommend, leave a comment below. I'm really looking forward to checking that out as well. Scarface, the original from Howard Hawks. I have seen the Brian De Palma Al Pacino film, so I definitely wanted to check out the original and see, compare them together, basically. Maybe do a back-to-back marathon one day, if the kids are not around and I've got time to do it. The next one, a film that I've owned on DVD for a few years but still need to watch, and that is To Catch a Thief from Alfred Hitchcock. A fantastic cast of Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, two fantastic actors who I've seen in many of these films before and always give a great performance even. As I say, I've been on a bit of an Alfred Hitchcock kick this year, watching a lot of titles that I've had in the collection for a long while, and finally getting around to watching them. So I definitely wanted to watch this one on Blu-ray after realising it was on the Premium Collection. So I'm looking forward to checking all these out. That is the Premium Collection, as I said, 2 for 15 at the present time in HMV. So definitely check out HMV's website or pop into store, and hopefully you can pick up some Premium Collections as well. So this has been my Blu-ray and 4K update for the month of June. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Goodbye.